My friend Tiny and I love to fish the narrows of the Teton River. A gash in the ground a half-mile deep, steep as a cow's face on both sides, and 30 miles of white water. One morning, we pulled up on the rim to the head of the old buffalo trail that angled down the hillside for about 1.5 miles before it got to the river. But that day, Tiny was just so competitive, he had to be the first one to catch a fish. He said, "I'm heading straight down the hill. Math is easy. Fish are in the river, river's at the bottom of the hill." I said, "Okay, but I'm taking the easy trail." I'd gone about a half mile, and as I was rounding the bend, across the draw from me, there was a bear coming the other way on the same trail. And he was sniffing, and I remembered I had a dozen minnows in my fish sack for bait, but to that bear I smelled like one big fish. And he started coming, and so I headed back up the trail the other way. I was going as fast as I could, and I glanced over my shoulder to see where the bear was, but I shouldn't have done it, because right then there was a rattlesnake crossing the trail, and I tripped on him and went down, and he was wrapped around my ankles. I couldn't get up. And then the bear jumped on us, and we went rolling down the hill in a big ball. And there was growling, and there was hissing, and there was cussing, and then there was bellowing, and me and the bear was making noise too. Like a flat tire at 60 miles an hour, we went whack-a-whack-a-whack-a down that hill until we hit a rock, and everything flew apart. That rattlesnake went 30 yards straight up in the air. And a passing eagle swooped in, grabbed it, wiggled its wings to say thanks for breakfast, and sailed. I was against the rock we hit, but the bear was still rolling down the hill. And then he disappeared. And a few seconds later, the water geyser up. He'd gone off a cliff into the river. I figured the best thing for me to do was get back on the trail. So I started crawling up the hill. At least my hands and feet were crawling up the hill. I was going down the hill. On that loose pea gravel hillside, even the grass had trouble hanging on. The faster I crawled, the faster I slid. And finally I figured I better turn around and see what's going to happen to me. And I went off that cliff, and everything went into slow motion. I could see the cliff was about 20 feet high. And along the base of it for about 20 yards was probably the only smooth water for 2 miles either way. And the bank on the other side came down in a grassy beach. And there was a mule deer buck standing there. And over its head on a willow bush was a magpie. But they were both just sort of staring slack-jawed at the cliff. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw the bear getting out of the river on the other side, and he did not seem happy. Well, I was falling down, and about halfway down, there was a ledge sticking out from the cliff about 2 feet. And it caught me right there. And it flipped me out into the middle of that. I did a 3/4 somersault and landed on my back. A button popped off my shirt, knocked the magpie out of the willow. It fell down on the buck's head, got its wings tangled in the antlers, and started squawking. The buck didn't know what was going on. He started snorting and bucking and carrying on. And I don't think either one of them even knew the bear was there, but they chased it up the other hillside. Well, the current gently pushed me down against the rock at the low end of the hole, and I'd managed to keep my head out of the water. I looked around. There, at the head of the hole, up on top of the cliff, hanging onto a sagebrush, was Tiny. And he says, "Are you all right?" I don't know. I guess so. "Well, get out of there. You're scaring everything." And that wasn't even true, because as I'd gone off the cliff, I had immediately recognized this as a prime fishing hole, and instinctively cast my lure to the head of the hole, and I had a 23-inch rainbow trout on it. And besides that, under my right arm was a small beaver, and on the other side, an otter was getting in my fish sack to eat those minnows. On my honor as a fisherman. That's the way.